A few years ago, a client asked me to create a fun course that was going to happen on Halloween. So they wanted something kind of spooky. So I sat down. I really was doing some brainstorming about, well, what can I do, for project management or careers or goals and link it back to Halloween, trick or treat. Here's your crappy job. So what was I going to do? So I kept coming back to this idea of vampire management. That what if your manager were a vampire? Or what if you as a manager were acting like a vampire to your team, that people were afraid of you or you're draining the joy out of their job? And so that's what I did. I wrote this book and created this course called Vampire Management. And so today, for Halloween, or close to Halloween, I pulled out this book. I had to dig around and find it. I want to share with you just a little bit about vampire management. So here we go. I'm your manager, and I'm a vampire. Allow me to personally welcome you to our organization. We're pleased you've decided to join us in your career, and I'm certain you'll be a valuable asset. And if there's anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask. My door is always, usually open. Over the past 97 years, I've given that welcome speech, or some variation of it, to thousands of new employees. Okay, I've given the speech minus the vampire business. It's true, I am a vampire. I've traveled the world. I've seen countries fall apart, witnessed great businesses vanish like a moon on the horizon. I've watched people be born, grow old, and die, while I've hardly changed at all. I've made millions of dollars, but I've led a moderate lifestyle to not draw attention to myself. While I'd really like to snap your neck and drink your blood, I'm not going to, at least not yet. Instead, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to tell you why your job sucks. I'm going to reveal how we, vampires, control far more than you think, but we aren't as powerful as you led to believe. I'm going to show you how to deal with vampire managers, how to fight back, and how to make yourself unappealing to bloodsuckers like me. Your job sucks for many reasons, but the primary reason is because of vampires. We're things that don't really care for you, your colleagues, your goals, action items, or where you think you'll be in 5 years. You're just another thing that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Every day there are meetings, emails, phone calls, conferences, and demands from all directions for vampire managers. Well, for new managers, it's exciting. It's exciting to lead. But then there's the realization. It's no opportunity. It's hell. Where is management leading their staff? To retirement? To the promised land? To the next layoff? Leadership, especially vampire leadership, is leading the organization to the purpose of business, to make more money. Leadership at the management level isn't about alignment, motivation, and direction. Leadership at the management level is about you doing what I say. It's little surprise that so many managers are actually vampires. Managers have a rough gig. Let's pretend you're managing 20 people. Each personality in this crowd has issues, drama, desire to get ahead of their workmates. They'll do good work and they'll do bad work. They'll want your attention, and they'll play politics to fit their tiny agenda into your day. That's 20 people for whom you have to manage their woes, address their wants and needs. You have to talk to, direct, pretend to motivate, and cajole them to do their jobs as adults. Even if you spend just 1 hour a week managing each person, that's 20 hours of being a glorified babysitter. Spend an hour a week with each person that you'd rather eat, and then look at, you'll know my help. Wait, it gets better. Add to this misery the fact that managers above you have a crew of managers just like you. These managers, directors, vice presidents, or whatever your company calls them, grow to feel about you the same way you do about the 20 people you're managing. And then there are the people above them and so on. The good news is that the farther up the ladder you climb, the fewer people you have to manage. So your life becomes better and better. But that's not you, is it? Vampire or not, management bites. Managers are caught between the layer above and the layer below. That's middle management. Middle management has to take the directives that are passed down to them and then enforce the new rules, policies, bad news, layoffs, and all the other business directly to the masses. Middle managers are glorified babysitters, but they have dreams of moving on to the next level, of moving on and away from people like you. You might think that's not so bad, that you could hack that for a while. Sure, you probably can. But I've been stuck here in middle management for 97 years in 10 different organizations. And I'm resigning, retiring, and returning to my life, my calling, my freedom. Let me tell you about my life as a vampire manager. This is my story, my advice, and the last thing I'll ever do as a vampire manager. This story, this consultation, will be dismissed as a cute little business book. Well, it's not. It's my resignation letter to my firm, the organization. The organization is really a shadow company that reaches into most businesses, governments, and profitable entities. All vampires are required to work for the organization. It's like a union, but with higher dues. In the organization, promises have been made, promises broken, and it's all self-serving control from the top down to you at the bottom. I won't yet delve into the specifics of why I'm quitting, turning rogue, but I've seen the same lies and the same deception in your company as in the organization. We're really not that different. By the time you're actually reading this, I'll likely be dead for good. In the months following these words, I'll probably be hunted down and buried alive under a few tons of cement, left to starve. Or they'll be merciful and just lop off my head. Or they'll use a combination of 100 other methods to kill something that's already dead, none of which will be all that pleasant. But vampire or not, I'm tired of this game, tired of this lack of life, tired by playing by someone else's rules. And again, maybe this is all a ghost story, just entertainment, which could be part of our scheme to keep you right where you are, miserable, living in a cubicle and earning money for us. I was recruited in 1849. At the time, I was 46 years old, never married, no children. I poured my life into the railroad business. My manager, Hans Goodsby, a vampire, decided I had potential for the organization and made me everything I am today. I've moved from company to company where the organization needed me, needed someone to make changes. I've worked in the financial arena, automotive industry, textile, healthcare, delicious, and most recently, technology. I've worked my way up the ranks from ordinary worker, team leader, project manager to manager of a department. In the world of vampires, it's not really about performance, but about who's left in the organization and what opportunities the void presents. There are qualifications to being a vampire manager. First, you have to actually be a vampire. For example, I drink blood. I don't melt with holy water, shrink away from crucifixes, or change into flying rodents and vanish into the night. I do, however, avoid the sun. I won't burst into flames, but sunshine is like a migraine headache all over my body. Sunshine is why I stay so late in the office, while I'm usually there before you drop by for your few hours of labor. I do have fangs, but they grow and shrink based on how hungry I am. Visible things would make team meetings, interviews, and performance reviews difficult. Now that vampires are secretly integrated into businesses and governments, we have to fit in. This means family life, vacations, seminars, talking about sports, caring about the stock market, and company outings. The life of a vampire used to be pretty good. If you wanted something, you just took it. It wasn't hard to get money, to feed, to disappear, to start anew in a new city, a new state, or you could even go to a new country. The traditional life of a vampire is gone. Now it's all company picnics, suburbs, and office parties. My life as a vampire is just ridiculous. And some people actually wonder why I'm so angry. Can you imagine the heartache we have to go through to eat nowadays? I miss the good old days. Now it's all orderly, rationed, and so businesslike that it's hardly fun. It's just work, kind of like your gig. So that's a chunk of my book, Vampire Management, getting you ready for Halloween. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing to my podcast, and keep moving forward.